Warning: the following podcast was recorded by two idiots. It contains vulgar language, vulgar ideas, and poop jokes. If any of this offends you, blow it out your ass.
Son of a bitch bastard!
Let's start this again, shall we? Jesus Christ.
You're fucking retarded.
Hey, Pickle Licker, wanna play the right intro?
One more time!
Are you ready?
Ooh! It smells like a new episode of Let Us Cast.
How's it going, man?
Going good, man. Welcome, everybody, to Let Us Cast, our first actual cast now.
Yes, our first live cast.
Yeah, I am Andrew. With me, as always, is Bruce.
How's it going, sir? How's it going?
Strikes and gutters.
Took us a hot minute to get off the ground, and man, it was like last-ditch effort there at the last second. Like, whoo, had some wings on fire and shit like that, engines going all crazy, but hey, we got the bird off the ground.
Right, it's kind of like that video, like, you ever watch, like, the video of, like, the Wright brothers, like, finally getting their fucking plane off the ground? It's like, oh, geez, is this thing gonna get him? What the? Holy shit, we're airborne.
Little wobbly, little wobbly, little wobbly. Okay,
It's still good. It's still good.
Exactly. We stuck the landing is really what matters.
No, you stick the landing at the end, dumbass.
Well, okay, fair enough.
we stuck the takeoff.
Fair enough. Landing still to be determined.
Oh yeah, we could still crash and burn anytime.
This
This is how planes
indeed.
work.
So what have you been up to, my good sir?
Been working a lot, trying to look for
Yeah.
something new and whatnot, but you know, like I said, strikes and gutters.
Yeah.
So
How's the job market? I have to admit that I'm not really looking, so I don't really know what it's like out there. So I imagine with COVID though, things are kind of shitty.
yeah, they are. Like, I actually had an interview recently, and it was for delivery parts for an auto parts store. I'm not gonna say which one, but
Sure.
the guy essentially told me, like, okay, yeah, you'd be delivering parts, bringing parts back to the store. If you're not delivering parts, you're working in the store as like cashier or stocking the shelves or just, doing random shit around here.
Mhm.
And he's like, we pay you anywhere between $11.50 to $12 an hour.
That's not bad.
That is bad.
Do you get any-
That's less
I
than
mean,
what I'm
it's
making right now.
kind of low, but
Like that's less than what I'm making right now. Like right now, I'm making at least $12.75 an hour plus commissions. So I'm like, Christ.
well, that's the thing though. Is like with the other job, like you're not going to get any commission or anything like that, right? So
Right.
you might actually be pulling away less.
Right, I'd be pulling less money in,
Yeah.
and it's
So maybe that's not such a good idea.
probably not.
Yeah.
But it also highlights.
Because I mean, you ultimately always want to get more money when you move to another job. There are occasions, of course, where you take less because it's an opportunity or something like that. But generally speaking, you want to get more money.
Yeah, but it's also one of those other things as well as, like, the guy's explaining, like, we are an essential business, so, like, even if there's a pandemic going on, we're still open, you're still delivering. If there's, snow on the ground, you're still delivering. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I'm like, all right, if it's that essential, fucking pay people like it's essential.
Yeah, seriously, that's a good point. Because I mean, honestly, like $12-15 an hour. What is it? $12 an hour? Was the top?
Yeah, it was $12 an hour.
Yeah, that's. I know minimum wage is still pretty fucking low because it hasn't changed in what, like a century? No, I'm just kidding. But like,
Might as well have been.
might as well have been. Yeah, it's still very, very low. So I mean, like, I don't know, man. It's hard because no matter what you do, it's hard to make a living. No matter how even like I make a pretty good living myself. I make decent money, but still, like, I mean, right now, not to give away too much, but like Liz is on unemployment and shit because the whole pandemic thing and her situation with being at high risk and all that. So she can't really go out work. She actually got a job working at a local cafe, like a food place.
Yeah.
Like right before the whole COVID thing took off, really, and then obviously couldn't keep it. So, but we're lucky at least she was able to get that because I mean otherwise think about how much less money we would have coming in. So it's like You know, you
Yeah.
make do. You just find the ends that you can cut and cut them.
Yeah, but
Basically.
I don't know. It's also one of those things where it's like, okay, we've got 18 million that are still collecting unemployment. About 18 million, I think, was the last count that I had heard. Um, then you got like, oh well, Jeff Bezos, increased his fucking fortune by like $750 million or something like that. It's like, he's going into quarantine on his fucking mega yacht, 750 miles long, has a helicopter pad. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, some people are just too rich for their own goddamn good, man.
Yeah. Like somebody even pointed out, like, look, Jeff Bezos could actually like give all of his employees an additional like $105,000, and he would still have as much money as he had before the fucking pandemic. So he wouldn't exactly be crying in his sleep.
That's the thing is like I think I mentioned before on the podcast about like some Domino's executive who like died tragically on vacation or something like that, and I was like, yeah, you know what? That's really sad, but at the same time, kind of fuck that guy because he can afford to go on that vacation. Like, think about the Domino's drivers who basically make that company possible.
Yeah.
Who make, what is it, like, $10-12 an hour? They can't go on any kind of cruise. They don't have the luxury of dying surrounded by dolphins like this guy did, And I hate to say it like that, like, because it sounds so cold, but at the same time, like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. It's if people are working in an essential business, pay them as such.
Right.
Pay them as such. Because
yeah,
otherwise,
I mean,
otherwise you're saying, well, yes, you guys are essential for me making money. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're essential to my bottom line, and that's basically it. Like, you're a number.
Yeah, like I remember who was it? Papa John's. Like they were somebody was questioning him like, dude, why aren't you offering your employees like health care? And he's like, I can't do that. I would have to increase the price of my pizzas by 40 cents.
Oh no, not 40 cents.
You're breaking the bank, sir.
Yeah, I think people would pay 40 cents knowing that, their driver is getting paid just a little bit better and can maybe afford health insurance or something, Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. That's fucked up.
It is fucked up. There's a lot that needs to fucking change here, man.
Well, it's sort of like the WWE. We talk about WWE a lot, and that's sort of like them not getting, benefits and shit. It's the same thing, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's God, it always comes back to wrestling with us.
It always comes back to wrestling. We should just call this the wrestling podcast, like
wrestling
with a podcast, wrestling with a topic, because we don't ever have one.
No, yeah, it's definitely like that because if you look at like a WWE contract, and there was a good interview with Chris Jericho and Andrew Yang recently on Jericho's podcast. But Jericho was saying something to the effect of like, if you work for the WWE, like they give you a plane ticket and they essentially give you your travel schedule. Like you have to, get the cost of renting a car. Your first stop is in like, let's say Detroit or something like that. And then they map out like, okay, this is where you're going to go for your next few days, blah, blah, blah. Return the car in St. Louis and then you fly back home or something like that. But he's like, hotel, food, gas, rental car. He's like, that's all on the wrestlers.
That's bullshit, man. That's so much I mean, first of all, the amount that you're traveling, but then have to incur the cost of all that too. Like not just, physically, but financially. That's pretty shitty. That's pretty shitty.
It is pretty shitty. And like Jericho was also explaining, he's like, the difference with, AEW, he's like, Tony Khan treats us like we're a member of his team. Like the guy owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He owns a soccer club in Britain. And so the guy's got money.
Yeah.
But
a footy club?
Yeah, a footy
club. Is it a footy club?
A football club.
A football club?
Yes,
good for the footy.
The old football.
Is our terrible British accents.
Yeah, I know. We apologize.
Real British people are horribly offended. We need another disclaimer at the beginning. If you're British and...
if you're British, like... we're Americans, what else are you expecting?
Yeah, pretty much.
Would you really think any less of us right now?
Big, loud oafs. Ding, you got it.
Yep. It's like, well, at least they're aware about it. No sense kicking a dead horse, eh?
Well, it's like the Kevin Smith thing about like stealing the thunder or whatever, like before they have an opportunity to call you whatever.
Exactly. But yeah, Jericho was saying like, with AEW, he's like, suppose like, before the pandemic hit and whatnot, he's like, suppose we're traveling to like Boston for one show, then we're traveling to, St. Louis for another show. He's like, our flight is taken care of, our hotel is taken care of. He's like, he gives us, a stipend for like food and whatnot. He's like, we don't have to incur like any costs or anything like that. We essentially have like a bus that kind of takes us to, we have that option of taking a bus to like the arena or whatnot to get to the show. I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking badass.
That is pretty badass.
Yeah. And like, if you want to find out how fucked WWE is, like, just go watch John Oliver did a whole fucking segment on it. And it is fucked.
Yeah, and he made a lot of excellent points too about all the insurance and I don't know, like the whole like being on the road as much as they are, being away from family, like it takes a toll.
Yeah.
Like
being a professional wrestler, from at least for WWE before the pandemic hit, you had 2 days off a week, which was usually Wednesday and Thursday, if I remember right, or it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there. Other than that, you're on the fucking road.
That's crazy.
It is.
That is a lot of time on the road, man.
Yeah.
That's more than a musician. Like, honestly, that's more grueling than being, like, in a touring band, like, for, like, say, Aerosmith or AC/DC. Like, they're on the road a lot, but how many dates, like, let's say, Rush did R40, and I think they did, what was it, like, 63 cities or something like that? So, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's 63 shows, but compare that to, the WWE doing how many shows? Like, 200, 300 a year?
Yeah.
It's not even close. You can't compare it.
It's fucking
not to mention that a musician isn't, like throwing themselves on the stage time and time and time and time again. They're just up there playing music, which, has its own things. Like you hear like Geddy has his, his thumb issue, and obviously, Neil had trouble before he passed away. He was having all kinds of like arthritis or whatever, and Alex has issues. Like, that's the thing. I mean, you still get problems, but it's not like a wrestler where they end up getting like addicted to pain pills or something, Yeah. It's not quite the same level.
No. And I mean, usually with like with a touring band, like we'll take Aerosmith for example, like there's usually like they'll play like one day, maybe take a day or two off, play another gig, 2 days off, something like that.
Yeah. Travel days or press days.
Yeah, travel days, press days, shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, still, if you're like an older rocker and whatnot, like, take Aerosmith or Billy Joel or fucking Elton John and whatnot, and you're touring like extensively, like that shit's gonna wear you down.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
all takes a toll, sir.
Yeah.
It all takes a toll.
Yeah, and like the whole thing too about like WWE with them, like any wrestlers that were on like Twitch or Cameo or one of those like third party sites where like they're making money outside of their contract. WWE's like, oh no, we're taking control of that. We're getting a cut of that.
Yeah, like, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't like Rusev get into shit about that before he got shit canned by WWE?
I think Rusev gave him shit about that. If I were Xavier Woods, I'd give him a hell of a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because he has his own. Was it up, down, down? He has some
up,
shit
down,
like
down. It's like him and other superstars playing video games, having video game tournaments, and just having fun doing interviews and whatnot.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, like there was Big E was on Cameo and whatnot, and WWE's like, oh no, you guys are under contract with us. It's like, well, no, we're independent contractors, motherfucker. That's what you have us classified as. Oh no,
that goes both ways.
Yeah. It's kind of fucked because like they're classified as independent contractors, but they sign exclusive contracts with WWE saying you can't work anywhere else other than where we tell you.
Yeah, it's fucked
like,
up.
Well, how does that make you an independent contractor?
Right. Doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. Like back in like the old territory days, like if a wrestler signed a contract for him, and okay, yeah, they'd be an independent contractor. If they'd say like, all right, we're going to use you for, we have like a 5-month angle that we're going to be working on. We want you for it. Then after that, like, during that time, like, yeah, like, okay, fine, you're under contract with us. But after that, like, we don't own you. Like, you can go to another territory if you want, or you can sign another contract with us. Like, that makes you an independent contractor.
In fact, that probably contributed to some of the draw, too, because you'd have someone like Flair who would be the champion and would travel like from territory to territory. He'd be like the NWA champion throughout, all of NWA, all the NWA territories, but he would travel to the different territories and defend the